इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Thank you, Kanika, for this video. Friends, a very good morning to all of you. I welcome you all and I thank you all for participating on the Investor Advantage session this Thursday morning. I'm Sonia Chaudhary and I'm part of the management at Franchise India. And friends, this session is all about, how company like Franchise India can work and assist business buyers like you to take an informed decision of buying a business. And to give you a little perspective about Franchise India, I am not too sure how many of you have been following us and for how long. We are nearly 2.5 decade old company, and we have been in this business where we have been focusing primarily on business buyers like you, and which I would say is one of the biggest strength which has driven us all these 24 years of our existence. And we work very closely with business buyers who are looking at business opportunities on one side, and on the other side we also work with all national international companies who look at our distribution and need our expertise in reaching out to business buyers like yourself. So apart from a platform that we present, we also work as facilitators, we also work as advisors, we also work as educators who educate and advise investors so that they can take a responsible decision of buying a business. And I will also go on to say the last 24 odd years, I've seen how the industry has evolved from the time when we started this company. I remember, we used to be accosted with questions that was, as simple as, what is a franchise fee? What is a franchise? What is a royalty? Even these simple terms, I remember, that people were not aware of. And today I see with a lot of you who come every week on these webinars, and you are a very informed, business buyer group asking the right questions. And I've seen how, the business buyer has evolved over these years. So I congratulate you, for where we have reached, and also like to thank you all for giving us an opportunity at Franchise India, who through your continuous support, we were able to make every year performance, higher, or we were able to surpass every year performance because of the support that we got from you. And just to share with you, because you're a part and a very close community with us, we were able to reach last year alone a very big business buyer group which is close to about 12 lakh plus investors. And out of these investors, while we engaged a lot of investors like you, nearly 1,323 business buyers actually bought the business from Franchise India, and the entire transaction value of this business was close to 960 odd crores. And this 960 crores was invested in various companies by these business buyers. And also as a company, we bring every day one new opportunity for all of you. And the last year, we were able to bring about 781 companies. These were new brands across all categories, industries, industries that we were able to bring. So before I start the presentation, friends, I'll also give you an understanding on some of the trends that 22, 23 would have, and which are the industries that we foresee would become big, or where we actually seen a big demand coming as we started the year, or I would say we closed the last financial year. So, and I will also add, this month of April, which is a new financial year that we started, we have started this business year with a very big, business buyer excitement. And we have been able to assist in this month itself, nearly 74 business buyers who already bought business in the month with some of the companies like, Vedanto, which is a edtech company, Beardo, and this company is coming in the physical format in the for the very first time. This is a D2C company, been there online channels and reaching out to consumers. They've come for the very first time. So we have investors who have taken Beardo Salon and a retail franchisee from Chicago, Jindal JSW One Homes, which is a part of Jindal Group Steel company, Uclean, Complex, which is a multiplex franchisee, Drifters Brewery. So these are some of the companies that we worked, and we were able to work with 74 investors who took the franchisees. And also some credible companies that we have launched in this month so far, which include, some of the names like GD Goenka, which is a K-12 opportunity, Kalaniketan, which is a very trusted company, which is almost an 80-year-old company based out of Bombay. And they have operations in all major cities in Maharashtra, and companies like Sports Station, Lotto. So there's some credible companies that we also launched in this year. So I'll request all of you friends, if you have any specific interest in any industry, please reach out and write to us. And as usual, and that's something which I always say, this session is not about me, not about Franchise India. The session is about you and how we can work together to help you and assist you to buy a business opportunity. So I'll request you friends, if you can make it interactive, there's a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Please us pe likhiye, if you can write anything that you want to know, you want to ask, and I'll be more than happy to answer that as we go through the presentation. So my first question, friends, to all of you would be, whenever you want to start something in our life, whether that's a business or any new goal that we want to do or a milestone that we want to achieve, we always put a timing to it. And any business plan, anything that we want to achieve is never complete without a timeline. So I like to ask all of you, and I understand a large part of the audience which has come in today is looking at buying a business, and some of you, it might be immediate need, you want to buy the business immediately, and in some cases it might be maybe a midterm or a long-term viewpoint. But whatever the case may be, you have a timeline in your mind. So I'll ask you a couple of questions, and if you can go ahead and write that in the Q&A box, and I will read that out and understand you better. So my first question is, what is the timeline for you? आप कितने time में अपना business शुरू करना चाहते हैं? Whether that's a month for you, 15-day time for you, 3 months for you, 6 months for you, 9 months, 1 year, whatever the time frame is, please go ahead and write that time. Second, if you have a specific industry in mind where you have keen inclination on, please go ahead and write that industry, or maybe even a subcategory. Maybe it's food, but what in food? Maybe say cloud kitchen, takeaway. अगर वो भी specific आपका requirement है or interest है, please go ahead and write that. And lastly, the city where you want to open. If you can start answering that, I will start reading also all answers. So welcome, Saransh Yadav ji. So you're looking for something in the manufacturing sector. Yes, we would be able to help you something in the manufacturing sector as well. If you can share what location are you looking at, and manufacturing also across various segments and industries, from water to many other categories it can include. So we would be happy to discuss. Sudhaji, you're looking at something immediately, and I have somebody without a name, but it says Redmi 9 looking at 3 months time. All right. And Saranshi looking for something in the property sector also. And property sector, if I have to give you some options, typically if you look at property brokerage in India is a very, very big business. And this has always been an industry which is sought after, a traditional industry. And a lot of tech companies have come in, which has made the business, I would say, more advanced. And at Franchise India, we also work, and rather, I would say we are partner with the world's biggest property brokerage company called Remax. And Remax is present in 118 countries across the globe. So if you're looking at something like that, Saranshi, I can help you with my team to share the information. And all locations in India, all cities, Remax has a presence. And we would be able to delve more details should you be interested in that. And Sudhaji, you're looking for Hyderabad, and I think we have spoken in the past as well. And so you're looking, I see some interest coming from Pune, looking for something in the distribution. So we do have a lot of opportunities in the distribution also, but distribution also comes across various segments. And I would like to know if there's a specific interest in distribution on a category. And presently, there's a very good company called BTS, which is, the pop, the band, the music band from Korea. And we happen to work with this company for distribution of their ready-to-drink coffee across India. They're already there on the shelf in traditional and especially modern retail and online. They're already present. Digital education, Girish Goelji, and absolutely this is one category which has seen a big interest in this year. And we work with companies like Vedantu, Unacademy, and many of these brands, but depending on your location, because these companies have a specific rollout. And I would have an opportunity both as a master franchisee in this segment and also for a unit franchisee. And you're looking for Gurgaon or Jaipur. So Kirishi, we will be happy to discuss maybe an academy with Antu as per your interest area or any other opportunity that you feel is closer to your interest. Okay, Saranshi, you're looking for something in Delhi NCR within 3 months. And Ankur Mehrotraji, welcome. You already running a kids wear business for the last 10 years and you want to expand it for from franchising point of view. And definitely, Ankurji, we would be more than happy to work with you on that. And I'm putting my number and you can WhatsApp on this number. I'll be more than happy to discuss that with you. And we've been working with some of the leading chains also in this segment, and you would be able to advise you how to enter franchising. All right. So I see a lot of you responding, friends, and keep writing, and I'll take as many as I can. And welcome, Avinashi, looking for Ahmedabad. And I have a team which is there in Ahmedabad, and I'll request my team to have a meeting with you today if your time is available. And welcome, Rajendraji. You're looking for something in Bangalore, and you have a property which can be put to immediate use, and you're looking for a business which is right for that property, and that can sometimes be very tricky because, and I will also take you through that presentation. So if you have a property, the mindset that we have is we don't randomly share brands for Bangalore, but I would like to understand, where the property is, what can actually work on that property, which are the existing brands or opportunities, businesses which are surrounded, around that property. And something in medical business services, absolutely, Rajendraji, we would be able to help you on that. I will request if we can speak one-to-one, understand the requirement where the location is. We would be able to help you on businesses which are open for Bangalore and would be right for that location. So we need more details on that. So welcome, Noor Patel ji, looking for something in IT services in Bombay. Definitely. So friends, thank you for writing your comments and keep writing. I see a very big audience which has come in. And I see also varied interest, that has come in from IT services to even auto, tech, specialty retail. And, I'll give you some of the top industry trends this year is actually looking very, positive on. And these industries would have a lot of franchises, a lot of expansion which are planned for this year. And these are some of the industries. And if you want to make a note, you can do that. And if anybody interested in any of that, you can also reach out. We'll be able to give you more information on brands under these industries. And I would like to start with, first and foremost, maybe electric vehicle and electric vehicle infrastructure companies. And this is a very big demand. And we started seeing the demand ever since the pandemic had hit, 2 years back. And in these last 2 years, the demand for EV segment has only increased. And the last almost, 1.5 or 2 years, we have brought in nearly, 20 plus companies in this segment, and almost all the top leading companies today in this electric vehicle segment is looking at dealership opportunity. So broadly, there can be 3 opportunities in electric vehicle. One is dealership, where you take the dealership in a city, and the second is opportunity for a swapping station where you can swap the batteries, and third is for a charging station. So typically, these are 3 different opportunities that one can enter in electric vehicle. Where for a dealership, your investment can be anything about 40-45 lakh plus, and that for a charging station can be anything which starts from about 10 lakh onwards, depending on the size and the format and number of bays that you put. And equally for swapping stations also, and sometimes a lot of companies give you both opportunities together, where you also have a swapping station and you also have a charging station together. And some of the companies to mention, I would say Deltic is a company from East India. They're a leading company in automobile, a 100-year-old company which has been in the industry for very, very long. They've launched their dealership and they're looking at partners all across the country and very successfully. There's another company called Bounce Infinity. We have worked with them for the last 3 months and we have received incredible response. And every month we are appointing a lot of dealership for this company across these three segments, which is I would say charging stations, dealerships, and also this company does retrofitting where they convert vehicle, which is ICE vehicle, into electric vehicle. The second industry is EdTech, and I see a lot of you getting interested in that. So EdTech industry is also becoming very, very big when it comes to demand. And I would say this year would see, a big demand and presence where these EdTech companies would have a hybrid model structure where we would have both online and offline, coming together, where the impart of knowledge or the training or the sessions that the companies do would not only be online, but they would start even creating in hybrid model structure. So companies like Unacademy, Vedantu, which I talked about. So Unacademy franchisee would come at a franchise fees of 3.5 lakhs for every city. And Academy is also offering a master franchise model. And here you don't need to put up an academy, but maybe somebody who comes with an experience in coaching or otherwise, or somebody who has any kind of affiliation with schools on the supplier side, distribution side, can be good partners for an academy, because here the role is to bring in more students on board and the entire fulfillment is done by the company. The third category is specialty retail. This is something which is catching a very big attention. And recently we launched a company called Essentials, and this happens to be India's first celebrity beauty store, which has celebrities like Salman Khan, Sunny Leone, Tiger Shroff, Lara Dutta, Virat Kohli, all under one roof. And they're launching all their brands under Essentials. And Essentials is a company which is owned by Mahesh Bhupati. So he's brought all these celebrities under one roof, and this would be India's first ever celebrity store. So we've got a good response, and hopefully, you should see the very first, and this is a D2C company again, like Beardo, and they have been there in this space for the last 6 odd years, going directly to the consumers, and now they're coming offline. And you would soon see the first store of Essentials coming up in one of the most, iconic locations in Hyderabad in the month of May. And other categories in specialty retail can also be businesses like JSW, which I made a mention of. This is Jindal Steel Company. They're into home construction. They give complete solutions for home. And some other categories could also be, I would say, apparel or, fashion, where companies like maybe Sports Station, which has various brands under the roof, which includes Nike, Puma, Skechers. They all come under one roof for the Sports Station. Then the fourth category is F&B, and F&B has been a favorite ever since, the last 24 years of my experience in, franchising. I've seen F&B as a very big driver, and the formats might have changed. The last 2 years, we saw a big demand of cloud kitchens coming in, and a lot of consolidation also has happened in this segment, because F&B largely has been a very unorganized segment. And the last 2 years, because of the pandemic, a lot of unorganized players have gone out, and we have seen a big consolidation happening where all these organized players are now becoming bigger. And they've also started doing omni-channel presence through their deliveries online. So a lot of smaller companies have gone out. Even cloud kitchens today, which are there on these platforms like Swiggy and Zomato, are managed by either the top players in the industry or all these companies which were there only in physical, and now they've come on these delivery and cloud kitchen format also. So F&B bigger formats have started seeing a rise. When I say bigger formats, I think the last 2 years we saw delivery only format or maybe cloud kitchen format, but I'm seeing now a big demand which is coming in the F&B sector, where formats which also has maybe a liquor format attached to it. So which I would say, and especially wine and beer license, which is not very difficult for any state to get. So we've launched some businesses in this category which is getting a good traction. There's a company called Variety, which is a Gujarat-based company. They've launched this franchisee-owned company-operated model across India now. And outside Gujarat, they would be looking at liquor format. In Gujarat, they do a non-liquor format and a vegetarian format. So this would be one. And I would say even smaller formats like a takeaway or formats like a chai or a coffee, they continue to be big, very, very big. And yesterday I was, and I'm all of you from South would know this company called Tea Time. And in no time, this company has grown to 3,000 locations. So they're already running about 3,000 franchisees, largely in South, but they've penetrated in North India. They're there in South, deeply, West they're there, East they're there. So this company is becoming very big. So formats like this will continue to be the flavor of this year, where smaller formats, captive audience, जहाँ पे आपकी investment 4 lakh, 8 lakh, 10 lakh के अंदर आ जाती है, because you have a captive audience and becomes easy to even manage. idiot proof model होते हैं छोटे format के, not too much of complexity of managing these smaller formats. So that would continue. And next, I would say knowledge-based businesses. And when I say knowledge-based businesses, it would mean companies which are into coaching, maybe IP-based businesses, which requires more of your time, because investment in knowledge-based business comparatively is small, but your time involvement is higher. For example, there's a company called Action Coach, which is world's biggest, executive coaching company. And the pedigree of partners that we have, or I would say franchise partners that we have for Action Coach are, the kinds of, the head of the boss, head of India, who is one of the partners in Action Coach. That's the pedigree of people, who come and become partners with Action Coach. And this is relevant for people who are at mid to senior level management, because they understand this particular profession, and they become coach to entrepreneurs and businesses. And also when the opportunity where one can even partner with IFCs, which is a channel of Franchise India, where somebody wants to even become a franchisee of Franchise India. Today, which I missed mentioning out, Franchise India has a reach in more than 90 plus cities across India. And large part of my presence is through my channel partners, which is spread across 2 and 3 tier as well. So this can be a very interesting opportunity for somebody who thinks, who comes from that consulting mindset, marketing mindset, and advisory mindset. And this is again a very small opportunity which starts at 4 lakh, but very interesting. If you put your time, you have higher returns that you get on the business. And then would be, I would say, logistics. This is something which has always been in demand ever since, I would say, the last 2.5 years. And when I say logistics, last mile delivery companies are looking at a lot of partners who would see a lot of traction. Again, a very small opportunity in terms of investment, which can come to about 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh, depending on the format that you take, you can get. And another is healthcare. Healthcare is has always been a sunrise industry, and I would say apart from the pharmacies, which continue to be the flavor of this year as well, generic medicines saw very big demand the last 2 years. Specialty clinics will become very, very interesting, where a lot of franchisees have started coming and asking for clinics which give specialized treatments. When I say treatments or diagnostic, it can be not just a blood test which does multiple diagnostics, but maybe dental diagnostic companies. A company called Rescan based out of Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bombay, I think Ahmedabad. They're all across. This company has been only owning and operating their company equity stores, and they're getting into franchising now. So opportunities like this, maybe something like an NC Wellness, which is a Bombay-based company. They're into non-surgical spine care treatments. So these kind of specialty clinics will also gain a lot of momentum. And lastly is, quick commerce, and we see that experiencing every day in our life. So quick commerce is, hyper local delivery businesses. यहाँ पे आपको जो local delivery है, last mile fulfillment is done by your logistics partner. So these are some of the industries which I wanted to, share with you. If you find any of these industries interesting, while we work with many others also, but इसमें से कोई industry अगर आपको interesting लगती है, please do let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you on that. And very quickly, friends, I'll take you also through a very short presentation on how, you can be at an advantage of selecting the right opportunity. Now, Franchise India, as a company, we are known as a business specialist, and we started this session of Investor Advantage so that we could help business buyers like you to start your own business. And India has been for very long a shopkeeper nation. We have every home. I'm sure a lot of people you would know in your family, in your circle, inner circle, outer circle, are people who want to start a business at some point in their life. So being an investor-centric, franchise-focused company, we made this as the very foundation of Franchise India and the very purpose of Franchise India, where we thought we wanted to work with every Indian and make them self-reliant through entrepreneurship. And that's how the nation goes. And small businesses are the backbone of every economy, and especially a country like India. This is very, very important. So this became the foundation of a company where our platform has been working with millions of business buyers to research opportunities, evaluate opportunities, and learn from the industry experts. And millions of business buyers have trusted our platform and have taken businesses, taken a guided services, and taken a business. So you might even ask, why a mentor is required when the information is freely available. And I would say, yes, you have a lot of information that comes to you through our website. You have 10,000 companies on my website alone. We have 1,000 company webinars that you can see on the Facebook page of Franchise India. But having a mentor can be important, and I would say valuable, because everything that we want to do in our life, while sometimes we are sure about what you want to do, sometimes we're not sure about what you want to do, but we always want somebody who can second that decision making, bring some insights, bring their own maybe life experience, industry experience. And that's where our interest alignment happens. And that's where a mentor, plays a very important role, where maybe in this case, where I say Franchise India can be a mentor, I would not say that I would, echo or second only one industry, one category, but our teams work very closely with every business buyer. We understand your requirements and we align your interests and create a balance between you and the company. And also, as a business buyer, I can empathize. A lot of you might find it very difficult to even, select an opportunity, because you have so many information which comes to you, so many brands which are launching every day, launching their franchise models. So you do not know what is right. And it is so overwhelming that it becomes difficult to even decide, what to start, where to start, how to start, whom to reach out. So that's where, our investor advantage structure, brings personalized solutions, where we bring you all insights and help you in the entire assessment, and also give you a caution that you must undertake before you start a decision of buying a business. And these are some things, which I would want, irrespective you go through us or you do it yourself. And all these assessment tools which you see on the screen is something that we work with you on. And so these are 5 assessment tools, that we advise every business buyer to actually go by the book. And it starts with, your own self, which is your self-assessment, followed by industry assessment. जिस industry में आप देखना चाहते हैं उसमें आप players देखिए, industry understand कीजिए, market assessment. Is your market right for the brand that you want to bring in? Is the market right for the opportunity that you want to bring in? Is your property right? कई बार क्या होता है property है, so one of you talking about the property, but I might say Bangalore में ये business चल सकता है, but उस property पे कई बार we have to be very, very specific what can run on that property. So based on the market assessment, location assessment, competition assessment, which is peer-to-peer, other brands that you must also evaluate before you finalize one. And lastly, the brand that you've selected, what all you must consider before you, sign on the dotted line. So in the next slide, we'll take you through a very quick structure. We've created a very simple point assessment, जहाँ पे आप हर एक assessment tool के नीचे हमने points बनाए हुए हैं, आप tick mark कर सकते हैं. And I'll take you in the next 15 minutes through all these points also. And if you score, on this 25 point criteria, agar aapka score 20 plus aata hai, then the opportunity that you have selected is excellent. When I say the opportunity is excellent, your chances of faring well, being successful are higher, right? Because almost all these 5 assessment tools, nobody can reach 20 if you have not selected more than 2 or 3 in each of these assessment tools. So, broadly, that's a very balanced point structure. Agar aapka 15 to 20 is the point that you have achieved, then it is good. But if you have anything which is less than 15, we do not advise कि आप उससे नीचे अगर आपका selection होता है, तो आप you should not select the opportunity. Go back and work out. Maybe the market is not right, because it might be the brand itself which is not right. It might be the market for that brand might not right, or maybe a combination of 2 or 3 things, which is not working out. So you need to understand on that. And very quickly, I'll talk about self-assessment and the other tools. And self-assessment for me, and this is something which I tell everyone, and that's what, everything that we want to do in a life starts with self. Now, when I say self, it is not just an individual, but maybe our family, maybe, our spouses, maybe our children, our parents, and there's a lot of, goals and milestones that we have to achieve. And all our milestones, all our goals in our life have to align with our business goals. If I have a business goal which I want to achieve, which does not align with the life goal, these businesses don't see, a very big or a long future. So this is a stage where you do your own self-discovery, what you want to do, and the business that you want to select, is that blending with your life goal or not? So what we do here is we look at first and foremost your financial goal, which is very, very important. And when I say financial goal, you need to align your investment with your business goals. And there are 3 things which you should look at. One is, and I call that TRR rule. T stands for the timeline, which is the timeline for you to achieve that financial goal. R stands for risk that you want to take to run that business. And R the third R, which is return, which means that the return that you expect from the business that you're investing. So ये तीन equation बहुत important है understand करने के लिए, और इन्हीं तीन equations पे आपका ROI बनता है. So ROI आपका depend करता है कि आपका time horizon क्या है उस particular opportunity का, risk क्या है उस business में, and what return that you get is all dependent on these three equations. Now I will explain you by giving you an example of the asset classes. When as an investor, we make investments in any product. I'm not saying business हम करेंगे या कोई भी investment हम जिंदगी में हम करते हैं, उसमें तीन fundamental goals होते हैं. One is safety. I want to look at safety कि जो भी मैं investment करते हैं, I need to look at safety. हमें risk नहीं लेना है बिल्कुल, तो safety में invest करते हैं. When I say safety, I'm also saying that I'm not looking at risk. जब मैं कहती हूँ safety चाहिए, I'm saying risk नहीं चाहिए. When I say risk नहीं चाहिए, तो मैं ये भी कह रही हूँ कि मेरे को return भी कम चाहिए. There's no business which says I'm extremely safe, there is zero risk and highest return. There can be no business with that equation. So the second fundamental rule of our investment is income. First was safety. Second is income. When I say income, I'm saying I'm looking at moderate risk, moderate return on the investment. Third fundamental goal is growth. When I say growth business is what I'm looking at, I'm also saying, or growth investment I'm looking at, I'm also saying I'm looking at a business which comes with the high risk, but equally rewarding, right? So ये तीन जो equations हैं आपकी asset class को लेके, they can never go wrong. I can never have a business which says zero risk and highest return or very lucrative, no time you get your money back. There are a lot of companies that might make that kind of claim, but that would not be true. Any business fundamental goal, rule will never change. Anything that you're looking at highest safety would give you low returns and lower risk. Anything with high risk will also give you high returns. So that's the equation for any business, even in case of franchising, if you're considering. Second, which is capital, and that's where our entire discussion starts. आपको कितना पैसा अपने business में लगाना है. I end up meeting a lot of investors who say कि आप business बताइए इसका ROI अच्छा है, पैसे की कोई problem नहीं है. But I feel we start on a wrong equation. Business ROI is different in every industry. हर एक industry का ROI अलग है. अगर मैं बोलूँ कियोस्क खोल लीजिए, उसका ROI अलग है. मैं बोलूँ आप GD गोइंग का खोल लीजिए, उसका ROI आपको 7-8 साल में जाके आएगा. ये business वो नहीं है जो आप आज खोलेंगे और 5 साल बाद उसकी opportunity खत्म हो जाने वाली है. So you have to understand what kind of capital you have in hand, what horizon you're looking at, getting a return on that capital. And when I say capital, don't take too much of soft loans. This is something you advise many investors. I've met a lot of investors who come and say कि थोड़ा पैसा है 15-20% लगा देंगे और 80% लोन ले लेंगे. And I would go back and tell them don't leverage so much. Rather it should be the reverse the equation जहाँ पे 80% आप ना लेके आइए, 20% आप लोन लीजिए, क्योंकि आपका working capital requirement पहले आपके 3 महीने में 6 महीने में ज्यादा होता है. You need to have money to run, and run away बहुत important है पहले 5-6 महीने का. A lot of businesses in the very first year they fail, and the biggest reason and the largest number of I would say cases where the first business year fails is because financial management नहीं कर पाते हैं. आपका लोन इतना बढ़ जाता है, business उतना रिटर्न दे नहीं रहा होता है, आपका cost of capital बढ़ जाता है. So look at this equation, अपना asset liabilities को आप पे कीजिए, only then go ahead and invest in the business. And third is your time involvement, which I always emphasize on. And franchising fundamentally started only because business owners and companies and brands, as we call them, or franchisors as we call them, they wanted one owner like them who could sit in the business and run efficiently like they did, because they knew if they were opening many locations, they would not have efficiencies coming in every outlet, right? So that was the reason a lot of companies, even Subway, I don't know how many of you would know, and the example I was giving you, I don't know how many of you know the brand called Tea Time. Hyderabad alone unke 250 या 60 outlet hai. Does anybody know this brand Tea Time? And if you can let me know how many outlets are done in the country, 3,000, out of which how many outlets are company owned? 3,000 आउटलेट खोलना कोई मजाक नहीं है. And you can even compare that with some of the national brands, leading brands, and maybe some international companies which have not grown to that level which company has grown. Any guesses anybody has? I don't know how many of you know about this company, but I'm sure anybody in Hyderabad, Chennai, all these locations in would be able to know the brand. So this company, out of the 3,000 franchisees, only one outlet which they opened first is which is owned by them. All 2,900 franchisees or outlets are run by franchise partners, and that is the only reason why this brand is successful, because every outlet is making money, it is efficient. So that's the power of the efficiency which a franchising business brings in. Now, having said that, I would also go on to add there might be some businesses where you don't have to put your time, but आपका शायद investment, आपका stakes higher है, जहाँ पे company कहती है I will operate, I will run, you put the money and let me take care of the operations. Most of these businesses would come with a higher investment, and also when the company is offering you a franchisee and company operated model, जो भी आपका total revenue आता है वो share होता है दो लोगों में, एक आप में और एक आपके parent में, which is a franchisor. When you run a franchisee and franchisee operated, the entire revenue comes to you. You only share a percentage which is royalty with the company, जो आप अपनी top line पे देते हैं, net top line पे देते हैं. फोको में मार्जिन जो टोटल आपका होता है वो आपका दो लोगों में स्प्लिट हो जाता है. एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज डू इट ओनली इन वन केस, अगर आपका बिजनेस कॉम्प्लेक्स है, बहुत बड़े ऑपरेशंस है, 10,000 15,000 स्क्वायर फीट का फॉर्मेट है, सेंसिटिविटीज अटैच्ड है लास्ट माइल एक्सपीरियंस कस्टमर को रिलेटेड लेके. फॉर एग्जांपल क्रोमा करता है अपने आउटलेट्स एंड दे डू अबाउट 10,000 15,000 square feet of spaces, very big format, and Tata runs all these formats company owned. All these years 200 आउटलेट चलते हैं, कंपनी के 200 आउटलेट्स खुद तक टाटा चलाते हैं. और ये उन्होंने 2 साल पहले फ्रेंचाइज करना शुरू किया, जहाँ पे अपने कंपनी आउटलेट्स भी वो ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं, बट ऑपरेशंस अपने हाथ में रखे हुए. सो द इन्वेस्टर कैन मे बी टेक अ रनिंग प्रॉफिटेबल आउटलेट, अपने नाम पे आप वो ट्रांसफर करा सकते हैं. 21 साल का एग्रीमेंट होता है. कंपनी विल कीप शेयरिंग यू विजिबिलिटी ऑन द सेल्स एंड शेयर विद यू रेवेन्यू दैट यू गेट on a monthly basis. Second reason why companies also do is when they're entering a new market. A lot of international brands do not franchise, and the parent company does not allow a franchisee to franchise because they feel the brand is entering a new territory. And again, our experience in the launch overall has a lot of sensitive elements which are attached, and they don't want to pass on to somebody they would not know. So the entire involvement is done by the parent through the master franchisee. And some companies allow that you can become an investor in that brand, but you will not run. So you become just a pure investor, you get return on the investment while company takes care of all the operations. So in most of the cases, FOCO is only done when the company is new, entering a new market, does not want to pass on, want to retain the sensitivity attached to the business, or maybe the formats are cumbersome, complex formats like a super specialty hospital. आपको franchise नहीं देता है. You don't have to be a doctor to take a franchise of a hospital. You just need to have money. Company takes care of the operations. So only in these cases you have no time involvement, but higher stakes in the business. And lastly is a fallback plan, which we say any business that you want to invest always have a fallback plan, and maybe diversify that investment into different segments, different locations, maybe through a multi-unit franchisee or a multi-industry franchisee. And that's what my recommendation would be. And recently I closed about one gentleman took 8 franchisees from us last week, this week itself, and then he obviously this month I would say, and he's taken about 8 every week he's taken some, and he's diversified. And I asked him, would you have so much of time to put in, because you're taking so many businesses and it would require your time? He said, no, I have my wife, I have this in the family, and he was planned who would take care of these businesses. So sometimes it's important to also ensure that if you're taking multiple businesses, you have somebody in your family, maybe your husband, maybe your wife, maybe your brother, sister, parents, anybody who can also come and become a part of that business. And one thing which I always recommend, and you should always get them trained on that particular brand. कई बार हम क्या करते हैं, खुद ट्रेनिंग लेके आ जाते हैं, but we don't train somebody. They might not be a part of the contract what you sign, but they can always be part of the training, and they always come as a helping hand. Second is industry, which is again very important. And a lot of you ask, कौन सी industry अच्छी चल रही है, कौन सा हम ले सकते हैं franchisee? I would say the couple of things that you must consider when you look at industry, and you must also look at what are the critical factors that can help you understand a company's success in that industry. Okay, but industry अच्छी है, great है, but why that brand is going to be successful is something which can be a question mark. Not every brand in the same industry is successful. अगर मैं food की बात करूँ, सारे food के brand successful नहीं है. There would be few on the top, and there would be few which are at a different stage. So when you look at industry assessment, आपको couple of things that you see, one is opportunity, how big the opportunity is, कितना बड़ा है. अगर opportunity बहुत बड़ी है, obviously I can have a role to play. I can also have an opportunity to be a first mover in my city. For example, there are a couple of brands that are being launched like Beardo. We're launching that for the very first time. A lot of people who came to us said, I want to be the first one to open that brand in my city. The first salon of Beardo should come in my city through me, because many salons which are running, तो एक नया category आएगा which is different to the other salons being run. So you can also have a first mover advantage if you look at the opportunity in your city. Second, you must look at the growth prospect. Growth prospect का मतलब है the business which I'm looking at, I'm considering, does this business have a horizon of next 5 to 10 years or not? अगर 5 साल वो business की demand रहने वाली है, then it is appropriate time for you to consider. Sometimes we think on a shorter time span. हम कहते हैं कि next 2-3 महीने भी interesting नहीं लग रहे हैं, but अगर 2-3 महीने उस business के लिए interesting नहीं भी लग रहे हैं, तो भी हमें आज consider करना शुरू करना चाहिए, so that by the time I'm ready to start the business, I have done my due diligence, I've located the property, I've done my agreements, I've started everything. So look at businesses which are future fit, जो 5 साल 10 साल आने वाले time में भी relevant रहने वाले हैं. Maybe businesses like education, there's a big demand today. Preschools की demand ज़्यादा है, but अब supply कम है because a lot of preschools shut, बंद हो गए. And many of these preschools were also unorganized. यहाँ पे छोटे players थे, micro chains थी, they could not sustain. Obviously, all big chains are running. So this is a great opportunity where all these companies, are looking at maybe conversion की जो existing infrastructure है तो वहाँ पे convert करके हम कर सकें. Same with salon companies also, salon chains जहाँ पे existing infrastructure convert करके वो they're converting to their own. So you look at every business that you want to do. आप देखिए उसके 5 साल में demand रहने वाली है कि नहीं रहने वाली है. 2 महीने, 3 महीने, 5 महीने should not be our thinking horizon. Third is demand and supply. Demand क्या है उसकी, supply क्या है. जैसे Beardo का मैंने example दिया. If I look at this category, demand supply, every market can be different, but not many only men's salon. I'm sure when you look at salon, आपको या तो unisex मिलते हैं और largely female centric, but largely unisex salon. So Beardo has taken a complete space altogether. They would only men, they would only men grooming. They would only do small studios. कम छोटी investment में 16-17 लाख में छोटा men grooming salon they can open, but very higher efficiency because the ticket size is bigger. So, and there's nobody in the market and they can be a big demand, but there's no supply. So when you look at any brand, आप देखिए demand क्या है, supply क्या है. Lastly, innovation, what the company is bringing in. No company is going to survive if they don't have a relevant product for the audience. And I don't have an aspirational product which my audience needs. So when I say innovation can be technology, it can be a distinctive product, it can be an experience which I'm bringing. What Big Basket is bringing you is not a fresh or a different vegetable from a different country. They're bringing you the same vegetables, but the innovation is technology. The innovation is convenience. They brought convenience to way people are consuming, and that's what makes them maybe stand at the edge when compared to the competition. There is your market assessment, which is again very important. Sometimes the industry is great, business अच्छा है, brand भी अच्छा है, पर आपकी market तैयार नहीं है उसको लेने के लिए. That could also be a thing, right? So when I talk about market, you must look at, is this business new? Sometimes the brand is new, business ही नया है, हिंदुस्तान में पहली बार आया, right? Second could be the industry is new. Industry itself can be new, maybe electric vehicle new industry. अब बहुत सारे multiplex की demand बहुत आनी शुरू हो गई है. It's not that multiplex पहले नहीं चल रहे थे, but it has gone beyond the top 2-3 players. Every region now has a big player. Maybe Gujarat में top player हैं. You will find somebody north who started putting these multiplexes. So understand if the industry is new, उनका penetration level क्या है, which is third. What stage the business is, startup पे है, growth stage पे है, कौन सी stage पे business है. ये 3 चीजें आपको समझनी चाहिए every time you're looking at your market and comparing that with the opportunities that you have. But you must look at the regulations. आपके जो state के regulations हैं वो क्या कहते हैं उस industry को लेके. If I'm bringing in maybe a liquor business in my city और मैं बार खोलना चाहता हूँ, what is my center guidelines on the liquor license? If I'm bringing a pharmacy in my city, understand आपका state का drug license policy क्या है, electric vehicle policy क्या है, liquor license policy क्या है, because this is both a center and a state subject, and every state would have a different regulation around it. So that is something that you must understand very clearly on your state guidelines when you look at this industry. And lastly, which I want to focus, from these 5 points, is location real estate. And I saw one of you talking about maybe property. I want to start something there. So when you want to start a business, and if you selected a brand also, if you have a property, obviously you will look at what my competition is doing. And इसमें 2 ही rule होते हैं. Either you follow the leader, जो भी आसपास दिख रहा है वो चला लोगे, because वो audience already उस property के आसपास आता है, already have somebody who's consuming these services. And if I come in, I'll be able to offer. Without less marketing, I already have audience coming in. So you follow the leader and open that business in that location. Second is you fill the gap. आपको लगता है भाई ये लोग आते हैं पर ये कुछ डिमांड कर रहे हैं और ये कैटेगरी हमारे पास नहीं है. Maybe for example I gave salon. उस लोकेशन में सारे salons हैं, but I don't have a male salon. Why don't I go and bring in, a male grooming salon? So it works. It fills the gap in the market. Why I already have a ready audience there. So ये rule काम करता है real estate में. And on the other side, when you have a brand you already selected and you have to select a real estate for that brand, what you need to look at is competition. आप देखिए उस category में अगर आपने food किया है या कोई भी अपने brand आपने देखा है जो आपने select किया है, आप देखिए उसको competition जिस जगह ये जिस market में आप खोलना चाहते हैं कहाँ पे है वो competition प्रेजेंट, एंड दूसरा किन लोकेशंस में कंपटीशन अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहा है. समटाइम्स हम सिर्फ ये देखते हैं कंपटीशन ने खोल दिया, बट किन लोकेशंस में आप कंपटीशन अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहा है. दैट इज एब्सोल्युटली अ गुड वे ऑफ इवन शॉर्टलिस्टिंग और नैरोइंग डाउन व्हाट लोकेशंस डू वेल फॉर अस. देन इज कंपटीशन असेसमेंट, जहाँ पे आप कॉम्पिटिटिव एडवांटेज आप देखेंगे, ब्रांड की पेनिट्रेशन वर्सेस दी अदर कंपटीशन इन द मार्केट, क्या परफॉर्मेंस है उस ब्रांड का, कोई आपका ऑफरिंग में डिफरेंशिएशन हो सकता है, मे बी व्हाट दिस ब्रांड इज ऑफरिंग वर्सेस द अदर कंपनी. इट could be margins, it could be your go to market support, it could be their liquidation of the stock, taking back stock, correction of stock. It can be anything, कोई भी ऐसी चीज जो आपको लगता है which can help you perform better in the market because of the support given by the company. All that is something that you must compare at least 4 to 5 such companies. जब भी आप select करते हैं 4 से 5 कंपनी जरूर आप उसको compare करें. And lastly is the brand that you have selected, which is very very important because everything revolves around the company. As a Franchise India facilitator advisor, my relationship with a lot of my investors have lasted for many years, where they've come back and taken many businesses from us. And rather, couple of days back I was speaking to somebody and he spoke to me and he said, you would not remember, I took a business from you maybe 12 years back, but आज मैं दोबारा ढूंढ रहा हूँ कोई business, and I thought I need to come back to you, and hopefully he would take one franchise from us in the next couple of days. So that's the relationship, friends, we keep, and that's the reason we want to educate all of you on taking the right decision. For me, it is not about helping just companies franchise, but more important, what the demand in the market is, what my franchise partners or prospective business buyers like you need in the market. That's what my main objective is, through this webinar. So when we come to brand assessment, we look at a couple of things apart from the credibility of the company, which is very important. Legacy है, commitment क्या है company की, उनके SOPs standardized हैं कि नहीं. Sometimes people just go in the market, आप खोल लीजिए, देखते हैं क्या करना है. So companies which does not have SOPs in place, उनका scalable model नहीं हो सकता. You'll have a lot of errors when you start operations, आपके errors आने शुरू हो जाते हैं. You must also understand margin क्या है. When I say margin, and this is again a term which is also not understood rightly. Every person thinks कि 15%, 20% अगर margin है तो business अच्छा है, अगर ये margin नहीं है तो business अच्छा नहीं है. Every industry has different margin. Companies ऐसी भी हैं, industries ऐसी भी हैं जो 5% margin पे भी काम करती हैं, 10% margin पे भी काम करती हैं, 30 पे भी काम करती हैं, 40 पे भी काम करती हैं. Every industry would have a different margin structure, and these margins would depend on आपका जो product है, industry है, value पे play कर रही है, मतलब value product है आपका या आपका volume पे play कर रही है, right? So when I say volume, yeah, value would mean that value would, and if the value is higher, आपका ticket size बड़ा है. फोन कंपनीज हो गई, टेलीकॉम में अगर मैं फोन की बात करती हूँ, सो द मार्जिन्स आर वेरी स्मॉल, बट आपका जो वैल्यू होता है एक फोन का मे बी 10,000, 50,000, 1 lakh अपवर्ड्स आपका प्राइसिंग रहता है डिफरेंट कंपनीज का. सिमिलरली इफ यू गो एंड बाय गोल्ड, गोल्ड में भी आपकी वैल्यू बहुत हाई रहती है, बट आपके मार्जिन बहुत कम होते हैं. बट ऑन द अदर साइड इफ यू लुक एट द बिजनेस ऑफ किराने का बिजनेस देखिए, उसमें आपकी वैल्यू कम है बट आपकी वॉल्यूम बहुत हाई है, बिकॉज ये हमारा डेली कंजम्पशन में आता है. मैं गोल्ड हर रोज नहीं खरीदती, मैं ज्वेलरी हर रोज नहीं खरीदती, राइट? आई विल नॉट बाय फोन एवरी डे, बट किराना मैं हर रोज खरीद, आई विल कंज्यूम दैट, एंड दैट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ माय डेली कंजम्पशन. सो आपका वॉल्यूम बहुत हाई होता है, राइट? सो अंडरस्टैंड what industry, and based on your horizon आपका ROI calculate होना चाहिए. And couple of more things which I will talk is ट्रेनिंग विच आई हिंटेड, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अपना किसी भी इनर सर्कल को आप इन्वॉल्व कीजिए. एग्रीमेंट्स हिंदुस्तान में बहुत क्रिटिकल है बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव एनी लॉज ऑन फ्रेंचाइजिंग. एवरीथिंग दैट बिकम्स अ part of the contract becomes binding between you and the partner. So illegal होने चाहिए, very watertight agreements होने चाहिए. And our team at Franchise India, which is Fran Legal, works with every investor to help them sign these agreements. आपका vet कर सकते हैं agreements. And lastly, also understand from company, आपका risk hedging क्या, आपका exit क्या है. We sign in the agreement in the rush of doing that, but I do not understand, is there a exit policy the company has, what risk you have, because every business would have some risk. I would not say कि franchising है तो risk आपका zero है, but your chances of making that business successful are higher because it is tried and tested. So every company also comes with their systems, their processes, they train you on that, and they also ensure that your risk is hedged to a certain extent. And when I say risk, it could be maybe the product, अगर product को liquidate करना है, सीजन सेल जो होती है उसमें कंपनीज आपको हेल्प करती है, दे गिव यू एक्स्ट्रा मार्जिन ऑन दैट, समटाइम्स दे इवन करेक्ट योर स्टॉक. येस्टरडे वी वर डूइंग अ वेरी गुड कंपनी, कला निकेतन है, 1942 पे कंपनी एस्टैब्लिश हुई थी, एंड मतलब वो एक एक महीने में इनके कुछ स्टोर्स में 10 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू भी करते हैं एनुअली, दे डू अबाउट 10 करोड़ ऑफ रेवेन्यू, एंड दे से कहता है आई डोंट गो इन एनी लोकेशन जहाँ पे मेरा बिजनेस इससे नीचे होगा. So they do a good Reiki, and first year कहता है give comfort to my franchise partner because they would not know what works in their city, what is the demand. So पहले साल बहुत comfort कंपनी देती है because एक साल में आपका जो पैटर्न होता है, कंज्यूमर का जो साइकिल होता है, डिमांड का, कंजप्शन का, आपको समझ में आना शुरू हो जाता है. So understand what provision the company has and how they would be able to support you on it. So next slide, please. So friend, this is what I wanted to present, and last two slides will talk about how we work with you and what process our company follows, and this is something that we've been doing फॉर लास्ट 24 ईयर्स. और ये प्रोसेस बाईपास नहीं होता. आपने अगर आज भी बिजनेस खरीदना है या आपने 15 दिन बाद भी खरीदना है या एक साल बाद भी खरीदना है, वी वर्क विद यू ऑन ऑल दीज 4 लेवल्स, स्टार्टिंग विद इन्फॉर्मेशन स्टेज जहाँ पे वी अंडरस्टैंड योर प्रोफाइल, आपकी लोकेशन समझते हैं, आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट समझते हैं, एंड लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज आई सी वी वर्क विद, मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज आई वर्क विद just a call away. They might be, some companies might be doing franchising directly, but as a company, because we have a great, I would say, equity in the industry, all the companies would be a call away. So provided these companies are franchising, these companies have a rollout, we would be able to share as much as information as possible जहाँ पे आपकी requirement, आपकी investment के हिसाब से हम reach out करते हैं. Another thing which I want to also say, and this is something I come across every time, and people look at businesses, and McDonald's का franchise चाहिए, Domino's का franchise चाहिए, and I would like to say many of these companies and some of these companies including Starbucks, ये companies franchise नहीं करती हैं, and I come across this almost every day. Somebody needs a McDonald's, KFC's, these companies do not. And I remember once I spoke to somebody, से कहता नहीं, and he told me, I said आपने किसी fake company से बात की होगी. They said yes, I paid some money online to some company, and you will find many of these fake websites जहाँ पे company के नाम से लोग कंपनियां चलाते हैं, they take online transactions. So beware, any company that you're investing, कोई claim करता है company franchising करती है, please reach out to the parent company directly to ensure that your money is not getting dumped. So when I say we look at opportunities, क्या हम कर सकते हैं, we will even give you complete understanding कि ये कंपनी आपके सिटी में फ्रेंचाइज कर रही है कि नहीं कर रही है, उसका रोल आउट फर्स्ट स्टेज में है कि नहीं, सेकंड स्टेज में है कि नहीं, वट एवर द स्टेज ऑफ एक्सपेंशन इज. सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट आई विल शेयर अपॉर्चुनिटीज विद यू, एंड दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी इज बेस्ड ऑन 4 फिटमेंट, जहाँ पे हम आपका SOMF फिट समझते हैं. S stands for strategic fit, which means your education qualification, professional qualifications, your interest area, maybe your industry expertise or understanding. So all that becomes a part of strategic, including even the property which you own or you have. तो उस property पे क्या businesses चल सकते हैं, that all comes under strategic. Second is operational, जहाँ पे आपके पास कितना टाइम है business operate करने के लिए, उसके हिसाब से कौन से businesses हम आपको suggest कर सकते हैं, that comes under operations. Third is market fit, which means locations, आपकी market के हिसाब से what businesses are viable, and equally important is the brand ready to enter that market or not. And lastly is financial fit, which means based on the investment we would come with the opportunities that are relevant. Third is negotiation stage. When I say negotiation, I'm not saying that I get you a discounted deal कि एक 5 लाख के franchise fees को हम 4 लाख करा देंगे या 10% royalty को हम 5% करा देंगे. That's not negotiation for me. Negotiation means that I get you the right value, I get the right deal for you. जो भी right deal market में है वो हम आपके लिए लेके आएंगे. And to ensure that we participate in all meetings, from physical meetings to virtual meetings, and we participate in deal structuring, which is very, very important. And ये तकरीबन 2-2.5 घंटा minimum हमारी टीम आपके साथ लगाती है just to structure the deal, क्या deal होनी चाहिए उस market के लिए, location के लिए. And lastly is where we work with you to sign off the LOI, which is letter of intent, and signing of the agreement. So ये 4 stages पे हमारी टीम आपके साथ काम करती है. So what you get when you become a partner is these 10 things, which starts with 1 hour of self-evaluation that we do with you. We also work with you in selecting the industry. And when I say I do not force my opinion on you, I give you only insights. I work with you in bringing at least minimum 10 companies जो आप select करेंगे, उसमें से 10 companies के discovery days हम आपके लिए करते हैं, जहाँ पे 5 घंटे mandate हैं, which we work with you, and put our advisors work with you, and they put that time 5 hours on these 10 discovery days. For example, I have JSW is one of the brands I'm working, and I had 10 investors who were keen I'm holding a special discovery day in a place called Trichy. So I have Trichy, where 10 of my partners, prospective business buyers like you, who wanted to, and the company is looking at only one franchise. They're offering only one franchise per city, but I have 10 people who want to, take that opportunity. So we understand their interest and find the right fitment. We also work with you to give you any legal advice that you need now on the agreement, like I mentioned. पूरे एक साल का एडवाइजरी सेशन होता है जो आपके साथ हम करते हैं, एंड ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम इवन यू लुकिंग एट मल्टीपल बिजनेसेस, यू कैन टेक दैट एडवाइस, including somebody in your family, maybe who wants to take that. We put that as a part of our offering too. And then is a lot of sessions that I do, even the exhibitions. For example, Chennai, we had a show. We have another show which is coming up in Delhi and Ahmedabad in the coming months. So all our registered investors, they get a complimentary free invitations to all these events, which are otherwise paid by investors or anybody who's walking in. And also, we work in case it is required, any case which requires us to be involved in any kind of mediation, we can get involved. We have limited scope, but if both the parties agree and want us to help, we definitely work on that. And lastly, anybody who's getting registered from this session, the first 10 candidates from the session will also get maybe in a half an hour session between me and Gaurav Mare, who's chairman of the company, जहाँ पे हम आपके साथ time spend करना चाहेंगे to understand what you need, what you require, and then accordingly advise you on what opportunities might be favorable. So what it takes to be a investor advantage member with Franchise India is a very small fee of 30,000 and a small brokerage, and this is something that we take just to ensure that I am putting my time as a company with somebody who's serious about buying a business. And if you put that time, we want to also ensure that we put our obligations of assisting you, representing you, and also de-risking you through the opportunity, because a lot of times you might look for something which I might not have readily available. But if you're registered with us, we go all out, we'll reach out to these companies, and we act as a platform, a robust platform that helps you and takes your time out, and we put that time in place. So if you're putting that time, we put that time for you. So in order to ensure that that seriousness is intact, there's a registration fee, and only once we have progress through the entire business buying cycle and close the agreements and LOI, that's when we take a brokerage fee. So this is what we had, friends, for today. I'll request all of you, if you're looking at taking any services, you're looking at meeting. I have, like I mentioned, more than 90 cities in India. We have our teams who are present. I'm also putting my WhatsApp number. You can reach to me on this number. And this is the email ID you can also write to me on. I'll be more than happy to come on any calls, meetings with anybody who needs that. At the same time, our teams at Franchise India will also be speaking to all the investors who have come in today. And we will also reach out to you through our respective team members. And Mr. Patel will help you with all the information. And we have taken a note. So thank you once again, friends, for reaching out to us. We have taken note of all your inquiries. Our teams in India will reach out to you and address all your queries. So with this, I take your leave, and I a great day and a great week ahead, friends. Thank you.